I know that this is going to sound insensitive and it's going to piss off a lot of people, but in 2025, you have no excuse to be broke. In this video, I'm going to explain why now more than ever, it's easier than it's ever been to go from 0 to 10,000 euros per month, and what you can do to become a part of that minority of successful individuals yourself. Now, since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred, and I went from struggling financially over 5 years ago to building a profitable done-for-you lead generation service for entrepreneurs, and then transitioning into consulting and making upwards of 1,000 hours per day in profit in my early 20s. You have to realize we've never had a crazier opportunity than what we have today to make money from the comfort of our homes with only a Wi-Fi connection and a laptop. All of that is only possible thanks to the internet and social media. I mean, as we're speaking, you have to realize there are plenty of like 20-year-old kids, and really, I'm not that much older. They make 5, 10, 15, 20, even 30,000 euros per month with their online business. And there's even 15-year-old TikTok kids who make in a month what doctors make in a year. And all of that for what? Because they post videos of themselves dancing on TikTok. Now, am I suggesting you do that? You post videos of yourself dancing on TikTok? Not necessarily. You're never gonna see me do that, in fact. But the reason why I'm telling you this is to really make you aware of the opportunities that were brought about by social media and by the internet. And the problem with traditional careers and degrees is that getting a degree nowadays no longer guarantees good job prospects. Plenty of people get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt just to pay for an overpriced degree, and they still struggle to get hired. And nowadays, more than ever, there's plenty of big companies, they start to hire people even without degrees because they hire somebody who's competent, not just somebody who passed a test. But even if you do manage to get hired, you will most likely spend decades of your life slowly climbing the corporate ladder to maybe hopefully one day earn 6 figures per year. But if you wanted to make $300,000 a month with a normal job, you can't do that. There are very few jobs on the planet that would pay you that much money. They're very specific, very rare type of jobs. And it must be incredibly frustrating for these top executives, these lawyers, these CEOs of formal companies to see these 20-year-old kids making millions of dollars per year from their laptop. And that's because nowadays, the real riches are online. I mean, it's not that long ago that you were either born a peasant or a noble. And if you were born in the lower class, you were born a peasant, you would stay a peasant for the rest of your life. There was nothing you could do about it. But nowadays, anyone coming from rock bottom can rise to the top of society. Now you may wonder, okay, that's great. I know I need to start an online business. I know that online, the real riches are hidden. So I want to get my piece of the pie before it's too late and before that window of opportunity closes forever. Because as with any other opportunities, I'm sure you realize it's only available for a short amount of time. The longer you wait to get started, the more difficult it's gonna get. I can tell you for a fact, all the people who started social media accounts during the lockdowns, they grew faster, they saw more success faster than people who started after. Why? Because during the lockdowns all over the world, everyone was stuck at home, so people were using social media far more, and it was much easier to grow an account then than now. But if you wait to get started in any business or in anything, it's only going to become more and more difficult because more and more people realize this is a crazy opportunity, so more and more people get started, and so plenty of people just flood the marketplace. And now to differentiate yourself, you have to realize you're no longer just in competition with the other employees in the company, you are in competition with the top talents in the whole world. So it's kind of funny because at the same time nowadays, we've never had as many opportunities to build incredible wealth during our youth, but on the flip side, it's never been more difficult to stand out because technically speaking, like I just said, you are competing with everyone else on the whole planet, not just people from your country or from your city. Now, a huge mistake I see so many beginners make when they want to build a profitable business is that they pick the wrong business opportunity. And I was a victim of this too. Back in 2019-2020, with one of my friends, I was still a high school student, he worked a part-time job, and so we decided to go ahead and to start a dropshipping business because plenty of people online told us it was a great business model, but we didn't take the time to analyze the business model on a fundamental level. We didn't even know like the profit margins, how it worked, how much money we'd need to spend. We didn't know anything about it. Nevertheless, we got started. So I built an e-commerce store and we sold a flat squeeze mop. And so in order to get customers, we would run some Facebook ads. And I remember when I clicked on the button to publish the ad, it was a summer evening, so it was about 7 p.m. for me. And then I went to the living room to have dinner with my parents. And when I came back to my room, I saw on my phone dozens of WhatsApp notifications from my friend because he was going crazy. We had gotten our first ever online sale. Somebody bought a flat squeeze mop from us for $50. And in that instant, it made me realize, wow, you can actually make money online. But deep down, I knew dropshipping was wasn't a great business model because I knew you'd need lots of customers in order to make a decent amount of money. And nowadays I have the data. Profit margins when you sell physical products, it's typically 5 to 20%. Meaning if you made $10,000, it's impressive, congratulations, but how much would you keep? Well, if we do the math, you would only keep $500 up to $2,000. So the effort to reward ratio is not worth it, at least not for beginners. And that's not even the worst part. We lost close to $3,000 because we needed to run paid ads to make this business work. But guess how many sales we made? Only one. And later on, we tried dropshipping with organic marketing, we got more sales and our profits were higher, but still, because you sell physical products, profit margins will still be very limited. And so that's why I transitioned into selling services and later on consulting, because with this business model, you can sell any kind of service or any kind of coaching offer to help people to fix a painful problem that they have, and you get to charge high ticket prices and work with few customers. So to give you an example, back in 2022, I started off with done for you lead generation services, and I was doing consulting also to help business owners to scale their business, because I knew if they could get more sales calls for their business, they would make more money. So they would be willing to pay me for it. And you can charge 4 figures, even multiple 4 figures for these kinds of services. So to give you examples, some of my clients, they do lead generation for local businesses. Some do video editing. Some sell coaching offers like fitness coaching, self-development coaching. Some help others to quit addictions. As long as you can solve a painful problem for someone, be it make a business more money or help an individual to obtain the personal transformation that they want, people will be willing to pay you a lot of money for it. So if you want to learn more about this business model, and if you want to figure out how I am able to make upwards of $1,000 per day in profit with my own consulting business, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to share with you everything I do step by step. That way, you can just copy me. Or you can also directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to build your business. All of the links will be in the description below. Now, something that really changed my life, it was to expose myself to luxury more often. I grew up in a lower middle class family. My father's a nurse, my mother a nursing assistant, and she was doing a very dangerous job because she had to deal with the worst kinds of patients, thugs that got into knife fights with gangs, drug dealers, convicted felons. Not exactly the type of people you would want to be around. And so growing up, we often lacked money. I mean, to give you an actual example, every single day I would hear my parents complaining about the price of bread, the price of lettuce, the price of clothes. Whenever we wanted to buy something, we'd often be told we couldn't afford it, it was too expensive. But sometimes I would happen to see a sports car on the highway, and it was always blowing my mind because it was a true piece of art, but at the same time, I knew that they were very expensive. How come some people can afford to drop $300,000 on a car that was more expensive than my parents' house? So from a very young age, I clearly realized there were worlds within worlds. To give you yet another example, at school, I would see the wealthy kids getting dropped off in extremely expensive cars that my parents could have never afforded, even if they tried to save all their money. And every year after the summer break, they would tell stories of their vacations to Italy, to Greece, to New York, and it was great listening to their stories. It felt very inspiring, knowing you could live such a full and incredible life. And I mean, during the summer, when I was stuck in my tiny room, I would see them on Snapchat, posting stories of their vacations, while I was forced to stay in my room all summer because we couldn't really afford to go on real vacations. The best we did was a trip to another city, really. And constantly seeing my parents just complain about lack of money, being miserable because of it, constantly arguing over chores and minor things like that, it made me realize if only I could find a way to become rich, all of my problems, or pretty much all of my problems, would be solved. Now, of course, I'm not talking about the kind of problems we're all going to have to face at some point, like the loss of the people that we love. No amount of money in the world can ever do anything about that. But while you're still alive, while you're still young in your 20s or 30s, and even later on, you're still full of energy. You still have enough time to do all the things that you want. But if you lack money, then you're stuck. So wouldn't it be better to make a lot of money, 5k, 10k, 15k per month, even more than that, while you're young, so you can enjoy your life while the people that you love are still around you? Because they won't be around forever, spoiler alert. And almost 3 years ago now, the first time I went to Canary Wharf, which is basically a very expensive business district in London, it actually shocked me like how wealthy this area was. I would see sports cars every 15 minutes or so. When growing up in my small town, you'd never see a sports car ever. You'd barely ever see a Mercedes car. And so being exposed like that to luxury and to wealth, it really made me like think differently. Because when you've never experienced wealth or luxury yourself, most likely you put it on a pedestal. But the truth is, wealthy people, they take a shit just in a better toilet, in a better home. They drive a car, but it's a better car. They sleep in a bed, but it's a better bed. They have free time, but they fill it up with more interesting activities. They go out to dinner. They have different hobbies. They do different sports. So having more money makes life a lot more interesting. And exposing yourself to luxury, for instance, going to the wealthy areas around your city and just seeing the cars, seeing the shops around you, it will make you see you could have it too. It's just a matter of making enough money to be able to purchase the things that you want. But it will make you stop putting wealth and luxury on a pedestal, because what you put on a pedestal, you can't have, because you signal to your subconscious you're not worthy of it. And in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you believe you deserve. Now let's do the math to $10,000 per month with a consulting business. Remember, we charge high ticket prices, and by high ticket, it's anything over $1,000. So typically between $1,000 up to $5,000, and it depends on what you sell and who you sell it to. And I know some offers which cost over $30,000 per year. So that's to show you how crazy this thing is. But in order to make $10,000 per month, you would only need 10 customers at $1,000 or 5 clients at $2,000. But instead, if you were to try to sell a $50 physical product, you would need hundreds of sales every month, and that's difficult to do. You would need to have a lot of money to spend on paid ads, thousands of dollars per month at the bare minimum. So the first step to starting your consulting business, it's finding your niche, figuring out what you're going to sell and to who. And when you know that, there's 3 steps you need to follow to turn complete strangers into paying customers. The first step is to make content to attract your ideal customers to you, because content is free advertising. You get clients without spending any money on ads, so it's crazy. Step number 2 is to turn superficial interactions like photos, likes and comments on your posts into real, genuine conversations with people. To give you an example, somebody follows you on Instagram, you reach out to them and try to figure out would they benefit from what I have to offer. And chances are if they followed you, they liked your content, it's because they have an interest in what you do. But most people, they won't take action on their own. So it's essential to make content, but also to reach out directly to people who might be a good fit for your offer. And the third step is to conduct a meeting with these people and to just ask them some questions first to see if you can genuinely help them or not. And only if you can, you want to make them an offer at the end of the call. Typically on sales calls, we convert about 25 to 30% of all the people we have a conversation with. At least it's the average. It can be higher or lower depending on a few metrics. So look, it's time for you to take some action, because passively watching YouTube videos is great, it's amazing, you learn a lot, but you need to do the work if you want to get results. So if you are part of that minority of ambitious individuals who's committed to building a business so you can become financially free, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below, or to directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to start your business. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more ambitious individuals to become financially free. And to thank you, when we get to 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away $10,000.